And they are off for the pace lap here. Should be a good race tonight, guys. Pocono is always one of those intricate tracks where, the racers really got to focus on, coming to a good top speed and breaking it down before they get to those turns. So it'll be interesting to see how these guys run. James, what do you think about the setups here, how these guys can be running tonight?
Well, Roosevelt's going to be really interesting to see what they do setup-wise. What works in one might not work in the triangle turn. What works in the triangle turn might not work in the last turn. So it's really a tricky place to get right setup-wise.
Hunter, you got a favorite here tonight at this track, or you got somebody that you really want to focus on and keep your eyes on?
Nah, not really. It just depends on...
Just to roll back through the grid, starting from 7th. I believe Roosevelt already got us 1 through 6. Starting 7th, the 29 car of Glenn Stanley. Starting 8th, the 14 car of Lloyd Jones. Starting 9th, the 38 car of Nathan Gregory. Starting 10th in the 20 car, James South. Starting 11th in the 3, we got John Tremblay, and rolling off 12th, the number 40 of Aaron Hutchinson. Starting 13th in the number 27 car, we got Shanka Corin, and starting 14th in the number 76, we got Chad J. Sandstein.
Starting 15th in the number 33 car is Brooks Morris. Starting 16th in the number 36 car is Benjamin Fuller. Starting 17th, number 28 of Roger Stanley Jr. Starting 18th, Brandon Puffenbarger. 19th to 23 of Corey Hart. 20th, 61 of Alan Piazza. And Roosevelt, take it away as we start.
All right, we have green racing going here, guys. They're coming into the big turn here, turn 1. Todd Guerin and Billy Smith are side by side as they get to turn 1 here. And Todd Guerin, lucky he got the upper hand coming in, but we see Billy Smith right on his tail right there. I'm really excited about this race. I'm really excited to see, who's going to be able to maintain and keep control. Hunter, who's your favorite you got in this race tonight?
I saw Chad racing earlier, and me and him were to practice, and I would think that he had a good enough car to get up there to the front, so I'm going to keep my eye on him all night.
Well, there you go. James, what's about yourself, my friend? Who you got as a favorite tonight?
Well, I'm going to be keeping my eye on a couple cars, but it looked like James South in the 20 car was pretty quick in practice. We'll have to see what he's up to in the race.
I'm really interested to see how Mr. Glenn Stanley manages to maintain. Also, we got Aaron Hutchinson here, number 40 car. I'm curious to see, if these guys can come up and push themselves forward, try to gain some points in the standings and get a lead on this thing.
It looks like in the early going, a lot of single file racing, people trying to see where their setups are and just getting in the feel for the race.
Looks like we got number 3, John Trombley. He's coming to the pits early. Not sure if he had a problem or hit the wall, but he's in the pits. Unfortunately for him, he's going to drop down a couple of laps. But, John Trombley is a good racer, so I'm curious to see if he can go ahead and make himself, work out the pits and get back to the front again.
Yeah, not really sure what happened there, Roosevelt, but catch a caution, he can get the lucky dog and get right back on the lead lap and get racing again.
As it stands right now, we got the number 8 car of Todd Guerin who has the lead, and right behind him, the number 70 car of Billy Smith. Coming in at number 3 is the number 44 car of Chris DiPietro, and the number 84 car of Kevin Linden is at 4. The number 5 car, number 69 Mark Ivey, rounding up the top 5. These guys here, they're going to break off real early and get some good distance out. I think that's going to be the key to this race. These guys getting distance, spreading it out, staying safe, and just not burning their tires up. Hunter, when you look at this track and you look at a technique, what do you think is probably one of the best techniques to get in and out of this track here?
Well, you definitely can't overdrive the corner. You gotta kind of diamond off the corner, as I like to say. You gotta go in high and go all the way down to the center and hit the apex and come out off. You gotta hit the bumps. You gotta roll through them good, and if you don't do that, then your car's gonna get a little upset. It's all about
James.
Go ahead.
Is this a bumpy track, Hunter? I mean, is the track so bad where you have to concern your setup with, bumps on the track?
Yeah, you gotta really rely on the bump stops and your springs to really let you get around this track. You get on that bottom, and you could go for a ride down on the bumps.
Looks like we had the 27 getting a little loose out of one, taking it to the bottom of the 20, got around and taking advantage of the caution down the backstretch.
29 car, Glenn Stanley looks like he just got loose and hit the inside walls, got some heavy damage to the rear of that race car. It'd be interesting to see what happened.
Indeed, we got the number 29 car. He's in the grass right now, Hunter, and I'm interested to see what happened too, because Glenn is one of my favorites here, and I was expecting him to kind of, work his way up to the front and kind of maintain there. So let's look at the replay and see what happened with the number 29 car.
It looked like the 29 car just got a little loose on the straightaway, cracked into the outside wall, and then just took him through the grass into the inside wall.
Yeah, he was just riding down the straightaway and looked like he was drifting down to the left and trying to turn it back right sharp and just completely spun his tires and just lost the car.
Now, guys, is that attributed to setup? Is it setup? I'm looking at the replay here, and you're right, Hunter. His car just jumped to the right and just went to the wall there. Is that setup or is that grip? What is that?
I don't think that's more of a setup. I think that's more of just driver error, jerking it back too far to the wall. And it just to me looks like he was trying to pull it down a little bit to the inside, maybe break the draft on the straightaway, and just trying to get back up in line, and just went a little bit too far.
Well, that's absolutely unfortunate for Mr. Ben Stanley. You hope that he can get his car fixed and get back out there on the track and keep on running. But it brings out an early caution, and it gives everybody a chance to kind of tighten up this race here and not let the leaders spread out so far.
Yeah, and it's caution comes at a good time for John Tremblay. We saw him having a pit early. He should get the lucky dog here, the wave around, and get back on the lead lap.
You know what, James, that's absolutely right. We made that comment before that we was concerned with, he made that early pit, and you even stated that an early caution would help him out, and sure enough, early caution here is going to help him out.
It'll be interesting to see if any of these guys come down pit road, because tires mean everything here at this track. It looks like the leaders are coming down.
Indeed, Hunter. It looks like we got quite a few of them coming down, as a matter of fact. I'm always curious to see who stays out and who doesn't come in. We see the first, 10, 12 cars come into the pit. A couple of them passing by to take that lead lap there. But I agree with you. Tires are everything. And I think the strategy is going to be take advantage of the early cautions, keep fresh tires on your car, and keep on running hard.
Yeah, and Roosevelt, we're probably looking at a 30-35 lap pit window.
Looks like the 8 car of Todd Guerin is going to take 4 tires of fuel, and he's off.
James, I think the key here is going to be, like you said, tire, pit strategy, take advantage of the early cautions, keep your tires as fresh as you possibly can and stay on the track and keep running. It's really, kind of a dice game when you talk about pit strategy on really any of these tracks in iRacing, because you never really can tell when you're racing where you're going to have massive amount of pit stops or not enough pit stops. I've been in races where you go the first 20 laps, 30 laps, and you don't get a caution. And other races, you go 2 laps and get a caution. So it's kind of hard to discern, what you need to do as far as pit strategy goes.
Yeah, absolutely. You see a track like this and you automatically say, well, it's a big track, cars get stretched out, and it's conducive to a lot of green flag racing. But we saw right there just a one-car incident that brought out the caution, and then another car behind him getting a little loose off one. So can't always bet on the track going green here on iRacing.
Looks like we have 3 cars stay out there, Roosevelt.
Yeah, Hunter, you're right. We had a couple of 3 stay out here. Hunter, you're usually pretty fast guy on these tracks. You start off real hard, you run hard throughout the course. What's some of your techniques that you have to kind of balance speed and tire wear?
Well, it depends on the type of track, but here at Pocono, you need some camber in the front, and that'll help you with the tire wear, but most of the time when you're in a race, you just got to back her down. You got to tell yourself, don't overdrive it, keep your tires safe, and that's pretty much how you finish a race. I mean, you can't overdrive the track. You have to drive the track for what it is.
I can imagine that, trying to keep yourself focused on not overdriving the car, not pushing too hard. That could be a trial in itself. When you see the cars right in front of you and you're thinking to yourself, I can take him. That got to be a, kind of a difficult thing to try to tone it down, hone it back a little bit, Hunter.
Yeah, because you're running behind somebody. Say you're running second, you're trying to catch the lead, and you're like, oh, I'm catching them. When you think that, you end up overdriving the car, and it can actually get you in trouble, especially here at Pocono.
Well, Pocono is a track that, a lot of racers tend to either hate or tend to love. The straights and the hard turns tend to be both an advantage and a disadvantage to a lot of racers here. I, for one, can't stand this track because it's such a really complicated track. You're full speed, you brake, you're full speed, you brake. Unlike Indianapolis, where you're doing that, in really 4 turns. Here in Pocono, you're doing it in quite a few turns. So, James, what do you think is going to be key here for these drivers as far as their technique and the mentality in making it through this track?
Well, like we said earlier, Roosevelt, the track is so different. You got 3 completely different turns, and you're having to save tires, you're having to save some fuel maybe at the end if we get a long green flag pit stop. So this next run will be interesting to see how long we go on a green flag run, and I think that'll kind of dictate where we are in the second half of the race here. Just to recap real quick, we had a couple of cars come down and top off on that last way around pit road. Looks like Roger Stanley Jr., Brandon Puffenberger, and John Tremblay, who was a recipient of the Lucky Dog, came around and got filled it up one more time before we go back green.
Outstanding.
And those 2 guys who just stayed out, of Benjamin Fuller, the 36, and the 33 of Brooks Morris, just now hit pit road to go ahead and top off. Looks like they decided not to stay out. They wanted those fresh tires.
Well, looking at the number 33 car, Brooks Morris, and the number 36 car, I know from experience that those guys have a method to madness when it comes to pitting and taking that first yellow pit. They typically like to stay out and see what the field is going to do, kind of make their own decisions and what they're going to do, and actually, stretch their gas out too. So, I'm kind of, torn in between. It's a good strategy. It's a strategy. If you got a fast car, you can work your way back up to the front, but you always have to consider that you got to fight through the field of traffic getting into this thing.
Well, it looks like things will cycle back out, and Todd Guerin will regain the lead there in that 8 car. It'll be interesting to see if anybody has anything for him or not, but we'll see here on this restart. It could get kind of crazy. Might see 3-4 wide down the front stretch.
3-4 wide indeed, Hunter. And early on in this track, I would hope that we wouldn't see too much 3 wide. Definitely not 4 wide, but that inside line, and we'll be curious to see if those guys can run that inside line and hold it.
It's like we had some more trouble back there with Glenn Stanley, who was involved in that first incident. Might have got the wall coming out on one of the pace laps, trying to get around to the pace car.
Well, the pace car is in. It looks like they're bunching up here. We're here we go green, and we got green racing, guys. Here we go again.
On the number 70 of Billy Smith, got a really good restart there.
Yeah, he did, Hunter. Look, he's riding a little bit high there. So, but he's going to drop down in there. He might be able to take the number 8 car on the inside there and just get this lead position here.
There he comes to the inside. He might try to get a little bit of side draft. Nope, he can't get to his side down the backstretch.
It's always good to see these guys race and kind of line up even and get to the run. James, I'm always curious to see what car is faster, what car can jump out to the front, who has the best setup early on. But we talked about this earlier, James. Is it better to have an early set that's fast or a late set that's fast?
I think at a track like Pocono, you'd rather have a nice long run car. As like we said earlier, the track's very conducive to long green flag runs. So I think I'd rather have it at the end than at the beginning, Roosevelt.
Yeah, I think, probably I might have to agree with you, James. I'd rather have something that will bring me back up to the front later on than early on.
Looks like we had trouble on the down in 1, maybe coming out of 1 with the 29 and the 28. So more problems for Glenn Stanley in that 29. Just having a pretty rotten day so far.
Indeed, and that looks like that might be the Stanley brothers there, Glenn Stanley and Roger Stanley, kind of getting to each other and causing some mayhem. Don't know if it brought the caution out. Luckily, we're still under green-yellow racing here, green flag racing here.
Yeah, it looks like Todd Guerin there has the setup down for the time, for this time at least. We don't know if it's a long run or short run setup, but for right now, him and Billy Smith occupy the 1 and 2 spot.
Indeed. We got to look at the number 28 car of Roger Stanley Jr. here, who has something that's near and dear to my heart. He has a Marine Corps paint scheme on his car here. Love that Eagle Globe and Anchor on the back end, but unfortunately, he put a couple of scratches on that car, so we're going to have to chastise him at the end of this race here for messing up that dog in the United States Marine Corps car. Simple 5.
And just as we come back, looks like we might have had a caution on the track. Looks like the 76 might have been involved, as well as the 14.
Well, that's one of my picks right there. Chad Sandsteed. I don't know what happened. I'll have to go back and look at the replay. It looks like his front end and his rear end are kind of messed up.
Yeah, Hunter, it's like Chad, his right end is kind of banged up a little bit. I see some tire damage there. So we should see him coming into the pits here. Not sure what happened though, James. Can you figure out what it is?
Yeah, it looked like we had some contact going down into 1 with the 76 and the 14. I'm not sure if the 76 just went in there a little hot, or maybe the 14 didn't realize he was coming as fast as he was, but they definitely made contact.
To me, it looks like the 14 there got a little tight, and he checked up and didn't realize that Chad was behind him, and Chad didn't realize he was checking up. And unfortunate for both of those guys.
Yeah, I'm looking at the replay right now too, guys, and I see the same thing though. Number 76 come down below the number 14 car, try to take that inside line. I don't think the 14 realized he was there that quick. Just kind of surprised him, and they made contact with each other, and next thing you know, both of them are tore up. Fortunately, it was only those 2 cars involved in the incident. Other cars didn't get messed up, and it's not that bad. So we should see the 1476 get themselves fixed to get back on the track again.
Yeah, a decent break for Roger Stanley Jr. and also Glenn Stanley, as they'll be able to come in and get some work done on their car from that earlier incident that they had.
Yeah, indeed. I'm telling you, I would love to see that number 28 car, Roger Stanley, get into the pits, get himself fixed, get back into this race again, and try to get himself squared away. We're going to try to get Roger up here into the booth here, talk to him real quick and find out what happened, what's going on with his car, and how he feels so far about the race. Roger Stanley, you got us on the comms?
Come back. I really didn't read you. I got a lot of traffic talking going on here.
Roger, can you hear us on comms here, buddy?
Yeah, I hear you, man.
We got you live here on RDL TV here, buddy. We wanted to talk to you real quick about the damage to your car and what's going on with you out there right now.
I hope the damage to the car is minimal. I can see a little bit of hood damage up in the front. I don't have that much. I'm in the pits now. Looks like Glenn just kind of spun out, and I couldn't miss him. But like I said, I hope the Marines, Texaco, Haviland, Chevrolet will come back and run good toward the end.
Well, Roger, I told the fans here that I'm a big fan of the car here, being a former Marine myself, and I'm hoping that you get that car taken care of and make it run here. How does the track feel so far, and the strength of the field? How's that going with you?
10-4, I appreciate it. My dad was a Marine in Vietnam, and I just figured I'd switch over and love the car. Thank y'all.
As we were talking to Roger there, looks like the 29 car, Glenn Stanley, is going in the pits, and he blew his engine after all that damage to the rear end.
Yeah, like we stated earlier, it just was not his day involved in the first incident, and then unfortunately Roger Stanley Jr. was getting into the back of him after he kind of wheeled it out, so sad to see his day end.
Yeah, indeed it is. Glenn is a real hard racer. He's a real good racer too, so it's really unfortunate to see his engine blow coming to the pits, and hope it gets fixed up. So, but hopefully, the other half of him with Roger can get out there back on the track and do some good and work his way back up to the front again. Pocono is going to be a tough race. We already knew that coming into this thing, guys. 80 laps, hard racing, hard turns here. What do you see thus far in this race, Hunter, and what do you think?
Well, these guys aren't really racing that hard. They're just taking their time running through the field. Hasn't been that many crashes yet, but I'm expecting getting towards the end that you'll see a little bit more side-by-side racing.
And we're going to try to get Mr. Chad Sandusky here to kind of talk to him real quick, figure out what's going on with him, and see how he's doing in his car. Looks like we couldn't get Chad in. He's really focused in on the race here, so we'll let him get to his business here. We'll try to catch up with Chad a little bit later on in the race, guys.
Yeah, just to recap, the pit stops, looks like just about everybody came down and got it filled up and took some fresh Goodyears. So.
As we look at the guys getting ready to take their second caution lap here, we're looking at number 40 of Aaron Hutchinson, who is our pole sitter right now. Aaron, how you doing, big buddy? You got us?
No, I'm doing good, Roosevelt.
Hey, well, what do you see so far in this race, and how are you feeling? How's your car doing?
The car's doing good. I'm just doing my usual thing, just kind of hanging in the back, let things happen where they're gonna, and as usual, I'm pretty good on the long run. Worked long time on this setup over the last couple of days, so it should be all right.
Do you feel any pressure from the guys behind you? I know you got number 33 Brooks Morris sitting right back there behind you, then number Todd Guerin, who's sitting behind him. So do you think you're going to end up, having some trouble with those guys, or what do you see happening?
No, not right now. I'm going to fall to the back because I stayed out and lead my lap, and I'm going to come in and pit now, and should be in good shape.
All right, Aaron. Hey, listen, we're going to let you get back to it, bud. Good luck into the race, and we hope to, see some success in you.
And it looks like... And it looks like the 8 of Todd Guerin has now regained the lead again after that cycle of pit stops.
Yeah, it looks like we've seen a couple of guys try to stay out and get a bonus point for leading the lap, and then cycle back to the back and try to hang out.
Yeah, you know, I expect to see quite a few lead changes here throughout the course of this race. You know, looking at the top 5 or top 7 cars right now, we got number 8, Todd Guerin, who's in the first position here. Number 44, Chris DiPietro, at number 2. The number 70 of Billy Smith comes at number 3, and the number 5 at Clint Smith at number 4. Number 40, Aaron Hutchinson, is at number 5. The number 20 of James South is at number 6. Brooks Morris in the number 33 car rounds up my top 7.
Picking up from 8th, we got Kevin Linden in the 84 running 8th. 9th is Mark Ivy in the 69. The 10 is the number 36 of Benjamin Fuller, and running 11th we saw John Tremblay early. He's running 11th, and the 12th is Alan Piazza in the 61. And 13th is Sean Kokora.
Then you got Roger Stanley Jr. in the 28, Brandon Puffenbarger in the 88 running 15th. 16th is Nathan Gregory in the 38. 17th is the 76 of Chad Sandstein. Glenn Stanley in the 29 and the Logan Torrance in the 14. As we do green flag racing here at Pocono Raceway.
All right, so here we go, race fan. We're back to green again, back to full speed. You know, these guys are going to hopefully settle into a good race here. We see that first pack there. It's kind of packed pretty tight. But slowly watch them as they're going to spread out here and kind of get in.
Oh, it looks like we had some contact.
Oh, big one. Big wreck. I cannot tell which car went around, but there was contact between, looked like the 3rd and 4th place cars.
And look, we definitely had some contact there, guys. That was unfortunate here. Let's see if we can see the number 44. We get information that the number 44, Chris DiPietro, just got loose, lost it, and came down in some few cars there. That's unfortunate. Now we're going right back to yellow flag racing again.
Yeah, it looks like the 44 lost his rear end, and he started sliding down on the 20, and the 20 just spun him on around after that, but there's nothing the 20 car could do, and he just left a few others as he was spinning.
Now, yeah, really a shame. A couple of guys involved in that. They had pretty good race cars.
Guys, we've seen that a few times tonight where we've had cars just lose it on their own, in the turns. Is that, indicative of this track? Is that indicative of just not a good setup, or what is that?
I think it's the track, because this track is, you get down there on those bumps and you hit the brakes too hard, you're going to lock the front end up, and it's just going to go around on you. I think it's just the track.
Just to recap a couple of cars that were involved, John Tremblay, we talked about him earlier, having a pit early and getting his lap back on the Lucky Dog was involved in that, so shame to see his day get kind of ruined getting involved in that. And also Sean Kokora in the 27 got in the back of John Tremblay after the 44 had come back down the track. So
yeah, you see some of these strong racers that are really good drivers. Have good setups, and they just get collected up in these accidents. There's nothing they can do about it. It got to be frustrating for a good driver, Hunter, when you're in a good position, you're running hard, and then you get caught up in a crash. That got to be pretty frustrating, Hunter. What do you think?
Yeah, I've been in a few league races here, and especially in the Class A races. When you're running a really good race, you have a fast car, and you just get caught up in somebody else's mess. It kind of really frustrates you. You kind of just want to stop doing it, but sometimes you gotta persevere and just keep on going.
Now I would think, James, that as these guys get collected up in these accidents and they go back and they evaluate what happened, do they get hesitant, try to stay back from the field and let the field spread out a little bit, or they just keep on grinding and dig in there and keep on pushing hard?
Or as I can tell you that sometimes you feel like you need to back off a little bit and let things come to you, and then sometimes you just get you all mad, get you all revved up, and you just want to drive harder. So I think the first course of action is probably the safest.
Well, getting revved up and driving hard, I can definitely relate to that. In the pre-races that I've been in, you push your car, you get hard, you get crashed out, and you want to get back out there and get your position back. So I definitely know how that feels. So hopefully these guys that get collected up early, they get the cars fixed and they get back in there and they get back racing again.
Yeah, it's always good to see guys who get in a little accident, go in the pits, fix the car up, and you see them out there 30 laps later going back for the lead. So, it is possible. It's going to take a lot of patience from these guys tonight.
And we're really only 20 laps into an 80-lap race, so still plenty of time to get your car going. Even if you have to make some adjustments in the pits, you have plenty of time to get stuff done.
Yeah, indeed. You know, and we hope to get some green flag racing going on here and some good laps in.
It's interesting to see these guys in the back like Brandon Puffenbarger and Aaron Hutchison and a few of those other guys are staying back there, and they're just kind of standing in all the mess. So I wouldn't be surprised if you see them in the last 20 laps up front leading the race.
Oh yeah, honey. I've raced with both of those guys a lot, and you know that tends to be a lot of times their strategy especially when they start seeing a lot of cautions come on early. Drop to the back, let the mess sort itself out, and then start working their way to the front. So I'm interested to see what's going to happen with those guys.
Yeah, it's hard to tell yourself to lay back because I know I always be like, okay, I must stay in the back, but it's really hard to push yourself to stay back there. But those guys are doing it real well, and they're standing all the wrecks, so I give them a thumbs up for that.
Indeed, indeed. I do the same thing. So looking at our top 7 here so far, we got number 8 of Todd Guerin, who's in the lead. Number 70 of Billy Smith takes up the number 2 spot. We have number 20 of James South in the number 3 position. Number 4, we got Mark Ivy in the number 69 car. Clint Myers, number 05 in the 5 position. And number 33, Brooks Morris, number 6 position. And rounding out the top 7 is number 84 of Kevin Linden.
See if we can't get James South running position 3 right now. South, you got a copy?
Yeah, copy. Go ahead.
Debut here at Red Dog Racing, going pretty good for you, running top 3 position. How you feeling?
I'm feeling the car is it's working its way in. It takes a little while to get going, but it's unfortunate to see what happened in turn 1. I couldn't really tell what happened, but had a good start on that last restart. Hopefully I get another one and hopefully be in the front here pretty soon.
James, this is Roosevelt Simmons here in the booth with you, buddy. Hey, how's the car feeling so far? How's the track doing for you?
Track's definitely difficult. You gotta pretty much ride the bumps out, but you have to have the car to ride the bumps out, and I think we got that car here today, so hopefully we get that car up in victory lane today.
Hey, James South, this is Hunter Kent in the booth. You got anybody you want to shout out?
Well, all the guys at Noble and the guys here at Red Dog put on good shows as well. And, your own guy up there, James Sprouse. We both play for Peeps here.
All right, buddy. Well, have a safe race and have fun.
Always good to talk to these guys on the racetrack, and you can hear the focus, in their voice as they come around these tracks. It's really intense. iRacing, for a lot of people is as close as you can get to the real thing. I mean, these guys have setups, they have cockpits designed, and they really, really get focused and dialed into the track. So you can hear the intensity in these guys' voice. You can hear the focus and the concentration.
Yeah, Rosebud, especially at this track, you're talking about concentration. It takes a lot of concentration to get your car to handle through the corner, make sure you don't overdrive it, watch the guys around you, and if you lose concentration for just a second, you could end up in a really bad position and probably end up in the garage.
Yeah, you know what, and that's not a position you want to be in. We only got 12 cars right now on the track, and I'm sure these 12 cars want to finish the race here. I expect to see the field kind of spread out a little bit more. Maybe we're going to see some decline in cautions here and get through. So we'll go through our top 7 so far again. Looking at the number 1 position, number 8 of Todd Guerin. Number 2 and number 2 position, number 70 Billy Smith. 3, we got number 20 of James South. And number 4, we got number 69 of Mark Ivy. In the 5th position, the 05 car of Clint Myers. 6th position, number 84 car of Kevin Linden. And rounding up the top 7, number 61 of Alan Piazza.
Picking up from 8th, we got the 33 of Brooks Morris. In 9th, we got the 36 car of Benjamin Fuller. Running 10th, we got Aaron Hutchinson in the 40. Running 11th, the 88 of Brandon Puffenberger, excuse me. Roger Stanley Jr. In the 28 running 12th, and John Tremblay running at the top 13, running in the 3 car.
Riding up the rest of the top 20, Nathan Gregory, Sean Cochran, Chris D. Petrio, sorry about the mispronouncing.
Green flag, green flag.
As we're going to go ahead and go back green here.
And we're off back to green racing again, guys. And we see him pulling off early here. The number 1 car of Todd Guerin is down at the bottom. And you can see the bumps on his car. If you're watching his car on the screen, you can see his car just dance around at the bottom of that track here. It is a bumpy track. It is a difficult track. It really takes concentration and focus here.
Yeah, it looks like the 70 of Billy Smith got out front there on that restart. It's interesting to see if he can keep Todd behind him.
Back behind them, we got the 69, the 05 battle for what I guess would be 4th and 5th. So.
Going into turn 1 there on that restart, it looks like John Tremblay got into the wall there going into turn 1. I don't know what happened. His car just went straight in the wall. I'll have to check the replay and see, but he got contact with the wall.
I'll tell you what, Billy Smith, we've seen him run before in that Performance PC Chevy Impala. This guy here can definitely run hard. You know, he ran the other night at Watkins Glen and just tore the field up. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what Billy Smith can do at Pocono.
Yeah.
Looks like Hunter mentioned maybe that John Tremblay got into the wall again, and we're showing him now coming into the pits and getting some service. So.
Yeah, going back to Billy Smith, he gets a little bit loose coming off the tunnel turn there. But going back to Billy Smith and the racing tonight at Watkins Glen, me and him, we had a pretty good, decent race. But I mean, once he gets out front, he's gone. So you can't let that 70 get out front, or he'll be gone.
We look like we got us a good race here going back here with the doggone Marine Corps car. Number 28 of Roger Stanley, who took over the number 76 car of Mr. Chad Sanderson here. The United States Marine Corps car is still pulling forward, pulling strong. Hey, I'm definitely personally going for Mr. Roger Stanley in that Marine Corps, being a former Marine myself. Want to see this guy do good. He's a strong racer, hard racer, but I got to give props to that car. I'm going to be biased here and tell you that I love that car, United States Marine Corps Semper Fi.
Yeah, the 76 car, Chad Sanseed, is in the pit road. I don't know what that's about, but it looks like he's going to take 4 tires and fuel and get that car serviced and back up there on the racetrack as soon as possible.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he had to take a penalty maybe before the, maybe pass him before the start-finish line. I'm not sure. We'll have to check on that later in the run.
I'm checking in on the number 88 car, Mr. Brandon Puffy Daddy Puffenbarger here. You know, he's running at a comfortable 10th position here. It looks like he has a clean car, doesn't have any problems with it. So Brandon is another one of these racers who's really dominant, really strong, kind of the quiet type. You know, he sits back, doesn't really, get into the mix too much. But next thing you know, he's right there in the mix.
Yeah, that Brass Pro Shop car there again, Roosevelt and Brandon Puffenbarger. He's looking pretty good. He's just riding behind Aaron, running his own race, and maybe I guarantee you'll see him up front at the end. It looks like we got a battle for the lead as Todd Guerin is closing in a little bit there on Billy Smith, going into the 3 right there. But looks like Billy pulled him a little bit down the straightaway.
Looked like Billy got the really good run off, and I got some air push there, running second with Todd Guerin.
Yeah, draft here does play a big role coming off the corners. You get a little bit of aero draft, and it'll get you a little bit tight.
Now, one thing on these tracks, guys, that you don't see, on these tracks, these long straights. Indy is another one like that. You don't see guys bump drafting on the straight. So, what's the purpose of these guys, trying to get to that draft on these tracks like this?
Well, it helps you kind of gain speed down the straightaway. I mean, if you get a good runner up off the corner, you draft somebody down the straight, you can pass them either going into the next corner or you can pass them down the straight. as it looks like the 76 car is coming back into the pits again. It looks like Chad Sandsteed is having problems in this race tonight.
Well, I'm looking at the number 8 car of Todd Guerin. He is all over the number 70 car here of Billy Smith. And it's going to be curious to see if these guys are going to maintain this battle, or if they're going to kind of back off and let things kind of settle in.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if Todd Guerin can be patient enough to get around him, or if he's going to get up and put the bumper to him. I don't think that would happen this early in the race, but we'll find out.
See the number 20 of Roger Stanley just kind of settle in back there, and not, I'm sorry, the number 28 of Roger Stanley kind of settle in back there and not get into the mix a little bit. You know, he's slowly closing the gap, you know, in 13th position, making his way forward. So, you know, again, keep my eyes on that Marine car, see what he's going to do.
It looks like this 8 car has a little bit better car on the longer runs, as he has run back down Billy Smith, and he is trying everything to get around him.
Yeah, we had talked about the draft a couple laps ago, and Todd Guerin using that draft as an advantage down the straightaways, getting right behind him and getting that pull from the draft. We see it again right there. See if he can go around the outside maybe of the 70.
Yeah, it looks like Billy Smith kind of blocked the inside there. Oh, he's just going to let him go down the tunnel turn. That's a courteous move there by Billy Smith in the 70.
Looks like the number 3 car of John Trombley has got itself prepared enough to get back on the track. So we see him coming back on the track here at 15th position. Few laps down, but let's see what he can do.
You guys, interesting to see that the 2 leaders have checked out from the 2nd place car of James South. I mean, it's unbelievable how far. I mean, how many laps has it been? 3 or 4 laps since they've gone back green, and they've already checked out.
Yeah, almost a 2.5 second lead now over this, or 3rd place car, excuse me, of James South. And I think he might have got into the wall out of 1 a couple of laps ago. That might have slowed him down just a smidge.
Yeah, James South is lucky he's dropping back, still he's dropping back a little bit. I'm trying to see his car. Don't see any damage on that number 20 Taco Bell car, but he's definitely dropping back, you know, 2.5 seconds off the pace from the number 2 car. So, you know, he might have some issues there. In the long run, again, you know, you guys said it before, that the long run, it takes a car that can really hold itself and maintain.
Yeah, as you get on these long runs, I'm seeing a few cars here and there, like Aaron Hutchison and Brandon Puffenbarger. They're getting a little loose coming up off the corners, so maybe their car is starting to give away. I don't know, but they're definitely, a lot of these cars are sliding around after they get about 4 or 5 laps in them.
Looks like we might have some trouble in the front straightaway with the Bass Pro Shops 88 of Brandon Puffenbarger.
Yes, indeed. And Brandon Puffenbarger, like he got loose there, but I got to give him props. He maintained that car and held it. He stayed off the wall. He didn't bring out a caution. That right there, my friends, is what you call some good skill driving.
Yeah, I have to give props there to my buddy Brandon Puffenbarger. He held onto that car, kept it off the wall, and right in front of him looks like Alan Piazza got in the wall a little bit too, so that might have triggered Brandon's senses a little bit to jerk it down to the bottom. I don't know. Let's go back and watch the replay.
This caution comes at a pretty opportune time for a couple of cars. We had talked about a couple of cars being a little loose off. Maybe they can come down and get a couple of adjustments and try to make your car better on the longer run.
When I watch that replay, and when I see Brandon, how he controlled that car and stay off the wall, I say to myself, that right there, my friends, is some hard driving. That was an outstanding job for number 88, Brandon Puffenbarger.
Excellent work by the camera person. I believe we have Laura Lawson on the camera getting that in-car shot of Brandon Puffenbarger wheeling that thing around once he was sideways to try to stay off the wall. He did an excellent job of that.
Let's see if we can get Mr. Brandon Puffenbarger in here, number 88.
Again, let's see if we can try to get Brandon Puffenbarger up here and talk about that incredible save to keep it off the wall there.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting here to see who stays out, who goes in for track position, tires, even fuel coming into play into a strategy like this.
As we look at the lucky dog here, it looks like Mr. John Trombley got a wave around the pace car here. Yeah, he was the lucky dog coming in on this one.
Yeah, still showing him 5 laps down, so he'll be able to get one back. Hopefully that'll get him back in the race and get a couple more cautions. Be right back there.
We got the number 61 of Al Piazza in the booth with us right now. Al, big buddy, you got me?
Yeah, I got you. Go ahead, Roosevelt.
Hey, Al, we want to, we've been seeing a lot of action going on in the race here thus far. A lot of cautions coming out, a lot of pits. What do you think so far of the race, and what's your strategy going into this thing as we get to the long haul here?
Well, the race is typical for Pocono, I believe. Guys push it, and, they get going crazy sometimes. Hold on a sec. And, but I believe it's a typical Pocono action here. Now, my strategy is, I started off in the back, and I'm just trying to maintain, what I'm doing here. The last set of tires I had was terrible. They were terrible. I couldn't drive the car for nothing. So hopefully this set of tires is going to be better. I'm just focusing on maintaining my position and trying to finish the race as well as I can.
All right, Al, well, looks like you're in the number 8 position here. I think my friend Hunter got a question for you here. Hunter, you got it.
Hey, Al, you got a copy? This is Hunter in the booth.
Yeah, come on, Hunter.
Yeah, going down the front stretch here, it looks like you got in the wall. From what you can tell under caution, has it affected your car any?
No, under caution, there wasn't any repairs, any major repairs on the car, or even a little repair, so I believe they're letting it go. Yeah, I have tapped the wall a couple times there. Like I said, a bad set of tires, so I had a handful. So I'm doing the best I can to stay out of that wall. I hear that wall is terrible tonight.
Yeah, 10-4 on that. Well, it's glad to see that you're okay and you're up there with those guys. And you want to make a shout out to anybody?
Oh no, I just want to say thanks to my sponsors, Red Dog Airlines, Red Dog Express, Hulls Welding. This Silverado Chevrolet is doing pretty well tonight, and hopefully we can finish up here in top 10.
Oh yeah, Alan, thank you for joining us here tonight, and have a great race.
All right, thank you for having me up here.
Hey, good luck to you, Al.
I appreciate it, Roosevelt. Talk to you later.
Right now, it looks like we have quite a few cars that are still, about 14 cars, looks like still on the lead lap of this race. So that's actually pretty good, despite all the yellows we've had come out. So, that's a good thing. Our new leader looks like we have in this race is the number 33 car, Brooks Morris, who's sitting in the lead position. Then we got number 8 of Todd Guerin, sitting at number 2. The number 20 of James House, number 3. Number 05, Clint Myers at number 4. Number 69 of Mark Ivory at number 5. And the number 61 of Alan Piazza at number 6. And rounding out the top 7 is number 70 of Billy Smith.
Yeah, it looks like under that caution, Billy Smith came down and looked to take a pit stop. And also under that caution, Brendan Puffenbarger disconnected and reconnected. So looks like more computer problems for him. Over the past few nights, he's been having computer issues. So hopefully he can get back in here and have a good race.
Hate to see that after that incredible save he had on the front stretch and not hit anything. Really some crappy luck right there for him.
Yeah, it looks like he's back there on the track in 14. He's showing at 14th position there in that 88 car.
Well, hopefully he can get that, get that position back up to the front there. It's unfortunate that, sometimes these guys have network connection that kind of pushes them out. So.
Hey, Mark Ivy, James Sprouse up here in the RDL TV booth. You got a copy?
How you doing?
Doing well. Tell us about your day here.
I'm doing pretty good. Losing some track position every now and then on the restarts. Got a little damage a while ago when somebody turned and I went under them and they kind of got to the back of my car, but I'm holding my own all right.
Mark, as you sit there in the as you sit there in the fifth spot right
Just
now,
need a little more speed.
Do you have any idea?
Other than that, we're doing good.
Mark, do you have any idea? This is Roosevelt in the booth here, Mark. Do you have any ideas on the strategy you're going to take to try to maintain fifth position? I mean, you still got a lot of racing to go here. So, what's your idea? What you going to do?
Did you copy that?
So we might be having some technical difficulties here.
That's it.
All right, Mark. Good luck, buddy.
Bring that up.
As the pace car lights go off, and just one quick note before we go back to green. Interesting to see the 70 car. He was the only car really to go down on pit road and get those 4 fresh tires.
Yeah, we
Billy
see him
Smith
giving away a
again.
little track position right there. We'll see if it comes back to bite him, or maybe it'll be a blessing in disguise.
I think it'll be a blessing. Billy Smith is a fast driver. He's always been a fast driver. I think, his strategy, he's smart. I think that's going to be an advantage to him. Fresh tires, he knows this track well. I think we're going to see Billy jump right up to the front real quick.
Yeah, it looks like Brandon Pufenbarger, after having the disconnection issues, looks like he's back to 14th, showing 1 lap down. So if the caution comes out quick, he'll get the lucky dog.
Well, hopefully, whatever he had going wrong, he got it fixed, Hunter, and he's able to get back to the mix again. That car is still clean from what I can tell, and I think he might be good to go and get some good racing going.
Yeah, I agree with you.
So the lights on the pace car are off, and we'll be going back green flag racing here at Pocono.
And they are off again. We see him going green flag racing again. The number 8 of Todd Guerin. He has a good jump there coming off, and he might be able to get the lead coming to this first turn here.
As we come down to turn number 1, Todd still has the lead as the 20 car is up on his outside. Interesting to see if the 20 car is going to push it or he's going to lay back and watch, but I would think that he would try to go for the lead here.
We see the number 05 of Clint Myers in number 3 position right there, kind of settled in behind the number 20 on that backstretch and just kind of ease in. I don't think he's going to go for a move right now. I think he's going to stay where he is. But right behind him, the number 69 of Mark Ivy, he's coming on strong, and we might see Mark early on try to take a move and get up there in the front.
Yeah, just to go back to the pit stops, actually heard some radio chatter that the 20 kind of took a big swing at some adjustments after he got into the wall a couple of times on that last run. So we'll see if that comes into play here.
Yeah, it looks like Todd's broken away from the draft a little bit, and he's starting to ease away from the guys behind him.
Yeah, Todd, that car is fast, and that car is really, making some separation there between the number 20 car as he moves forward. So I'm wondering if he can, again, we talk about, fast cars early or fast cars late. I'm wondering if his car is fast early or fast late. He's looking good, though, right now in the early start of the race.
From what I'm seeing, from what I saw in the past 10 laps, when him and Billy were up there racing, it looks like he lost the lead, and then after about 5-6 laps, he caught right back up to Billy. So I would think that he might have a little bit longer run set up, but we'll just have to see coming in here to the next few laps.
Well, what we're definitely seeing here is a good strong battle between the number 69 of Mark Ivy and the number 05 of Clint Myers here. Mark is really hanging all over Clint. I don't know if he's really trying to make a pass right now or if he's just trying to settle in and let things happen as they may. Smart driving behind him. You see him in the turn, he really comes up and he closes the distance on Clint in the turn. So, I think he might have a faster car early on.
Somebody mentioned Billy Smith a couple minutes ago. He's working himself back to the field after going in and getting some fresh tires. Looking to try to get around the 84 Kevin Linden right now, and he does.
See we got 3 battles here between the 05, the 69, and the number 36 here.
Ooh, it looks like we might have had trouble back. Sorry, Roosevelt. Might have had trouble back with the 36 and the 69.
Oh, indeed, James. Indeed, that's unfortunate. And 69 is still losing it. That is unfortunate that Mark Ivy lost his car, but he got off the track. Smart, courteous racing there. He spun, got off the track, and he's going back on.
Yeah, as the 69 car spun out, looks like the caution will come out. Like again, unfortunate to see that car spin around like that, but I'm pretty sure there was contact between him and the 36. I'll have to go back and watch the replay and make sure.
Yeah, definitely some contact down there in the entry of the corner.
Yeah, we'll take a look at that replay again to see. They were really battling up there early on. So, you know, I don't know if that contact there. We're going to try to take a look at it between 36 and the 69. Oh, yeah, it was definitely contact here. 36 is below the 69, and they just made contact. They got into each other. So that's racing, guys. That's racing.
Yeah, from my point of view, it looked like the 36 got in there a little hot, and the 69 was backing off a little bit, and just unfortunate for both those guys. I don't know if it hurt the 36 as much as it hurt the 69, but both cars definitely made contact.
A really good job by a couple of guys that were behind him, including Billy Smith, to get through it and not get caught up in the mess. We talked about him taking them 4 tires that last pit stop. The only thing that's wrong with that is maybe getting caught up in somebody else's mess that has nothing to do with you, and that almost happened right there.
Indeed.
And after this caution, looks like the number 88 of Brandon Puffermark will get the wave around in the lucky dog, so he'll be back in this hunt for the win.
So as we look at this replay, you know, of that car there, you know, he just kind of got loose. He got in contact. He managed to hold it, but once he got by himself again, I think because he put a patch on those tires when he slid, that he just got too loose on him, and 69 just lost it and went to the wall. Fortunately for him, not a lot of damage, able to get to the pits, stay on the lead lap, get his car fixed, and get back out there and race. He got a fast car, so I expect him to see him back up front here real soon.
Yeah. Let's see if these front guys, top 5, let's see if they come in or not. It'll be interesting to see what their strategy is as we're closing into 40 to go here at Pocono.
Just about to cross the halfway point. The good thing about having a long race like this and a long track like this is you can get damage fixed. So hopefully we can see the 69 get it all fixed and get back out there and race for the win.
And here come the leaders down on the pit road. We see if who takes 2 tires, who takes 4 tires, and we'll see after they come out of the pits.
Indeed, and we see a lot of cars come out and just come to the pit and try to maintain there. Looking at the guys who decided to stay out there, looks like we have you know, a couple of cars. You know, Brooks Morris, number 32 car, and one of them that decided to just kind of hang out and maybe again get a couple of points and take the lead here. And right behind him, the number 28 of Roger Stanley stays out. Number 76 of Chad Sandesti stays out. And, of course, number 3, John Trombley stays out of there. So these guys are trying to make up some lost laps. Don't blame them. Actually, a good strategy to stay out there and try to get a lap ahead. So, you know, let's see if it pays off for them in the long run.
Yeah. Not a long run that last time before we got the caution for the 36 and the 69. So we'll see if they can hang around with these other guys bearing down on them.
Yeah, that 70 car decided to come into the pits again. I'm kind of questioning why he did that. He just came in about 3 or 4 laps ago, and now he hit pit road again. He could have gotten that track position, but maybe that's his strategy, to stay on the same pit sequence as the leaders, and he might get back up there.
Well, knowing Billy, he definitely has a strategy involved in him coming taking some early pits in. It could be, you know, take early pits, take advantage of the yellows, and burn those tires up early to get to gain some position back, and then, you know, come in and get fresh tires again. So that could be a strategy of Billy's. Again, I'll tell you, this guy's fast. So Hunter, I wouldn't doubt it that this guy's thinking of gain as much position as he can early on, and then, you know, worry about the stretch a little bit later.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Look at our leader here at number 8 of Todd Guerin. You know, Todd Guerin's been racing in the front of the pack, you know, pretty much all day today. You know, he got a good car, good solid car. I think he's managed to stay out of trouble. But my question is, James, can this guy handle it and maintain to the finish?
Well, we've seen him in clean air be pretty good on that last run, getting ahead of the 20 and kind of stretching out the lead. And we've also seen him battling, so we know he has a car that can keep up with anybody on the track. So we'll have to see.
And it looks like Roger Stanley Jr. in the 28 and Brooks Morris in the 33 stayed out, so Todd's going to have to get around them, and we'll have to see if he can do it cleanly or maybe contact could happen and his day could come to an end. It's just hopefully everybody gets through clean, and we'll just see what happens here on this restart.
Yeah, but hopefully we'll see them guys do it though. As we look at number 33 of Brooks Morris here, we update him here. 33, like he is coming out of the pits. He actually did go into the pits here, take some tires, and again, that's usually a good strategy for him is to not take a pit on that first caution lap, wait a little bit, see what the field's going to do, take a second pit. Brooks likes to stay out of trouble. He stays in the back, doesn't get in a lot of trouble, doesn't get any wrecks and accidents, and just picks the field off one by one slowly. So we see him right now, fresh tires. He's starting to the back of the field, but he got fresh tires. So I expect to see him work his way a little bit up to the front. Now, Hunter, we're about halfway through the race right now. So that means we got about 39, 38 laps to go. A lot of the guys have already got fresh tires, got fuel. What is a good concept or strategy from this point forward in this race?
Well, the first and most important strategy is stay out of all the wrecks. Another one is get through all your corners smooth and don't overdrive the car if it is.
So it looks like we have the 28 Roger Stanley Jr. going to get them points for leading the lap and then go right back into the pits, fill it up, and go to the back of the pack and work himself back up.
Yeah, Roosevelt, I think it's most important is to just stay out of trouble and make it to those last 10 laps. And I think once you get to 10 to go, you're going to see these guys start going for it, and it's going to get a little slicey and dicey.
Yeah, with 42 to go here, we're probably looking at another caution, and these guys would be good on gas. Tires are another story. We'll have to see if a late caution comes out, what people would do with tires. I assume everybody would come in.
Yeah, I would have to agree with that.
Well, as they line up 2 by 2 here, getting ready to go green on this last lap, I'm sure, for those guys that didn't pit, there's going to be a source of contention for those guys to try to stay out of the way. For those guys that did, they got fresh tires on. Again, it's going to come down to, tire management, not necessarily fuel management. I think like James, like you said, one more pit and one more caution pit, and you're going to make it on fuel. Tire management is a different story. These guys, I want to know if anybody's concerned with how much they're burning their tires up right now.
Yeah, Roosevelt, we had talked about Billy Smith taking a couple pit stops there, and he's right back in 4th place right now, so right back in the mix.
We see the number 61 of Alan Piazza come out of the pits here after he got some service done. So, he's coming back in. He's been in the mix all day. Alan, he's hanging tough, so I'm curious to see what he's going to do.
We've seen a lot of these cars kind of hanging in that 5th, the 9th range, just hanging out and seeing if they can be there at the end to have something for the leaders.
And here we go now. We're coming down to the backstretch. Pace cars get ready to come off here in the pits. Pace cars off, and we got green flag. We got green flag racing going again, ladies and gentlemen. We see him bunched up here as number 1 of Todd Guerin, holds on to that first position heading into that first turn. But right behind him though is the number, we can see the number 20 of James.
Yeah, it looks like James South might have got in there a little hot and forced him into the top groove and lost a bunch of time right there in a couple spots.
Oh yes, he did. Number 20 got in there, got hot, lost a lot of time in there.
Here's a guy we haven't really seen battle for the lead all day. Clint Myers is up there in the 05, up there running 2nd right now.
Doesn't look like it's going to last for long as the 20 gets around him. Looks like the 20's collected himself from that, and we got caution out the track.
Oh, we got number 76, Chad Sandesti again. Got mixed up into a little bumper here. him and number 28 Roger Stanley, like they got tangled up a little bit.
Yeah, I'll have to go back and watch the replay and see exactly what happened, but unfortunate for those guys. Chad was already having a bad day, and this just makes it worse.
And a really unfortunate incident under caution. Looks like the 38 and the 69 might have got involved in a tangle.
As we kind of scan the track and see what's going on, you know, we look at
After looking at the replay, it looks like the 76 was not in it. It was actually the 69 and the 38. I don't know what happened there, but it sent the 69 car flipping through the air.
Looks like the 69 will definitely be done as he blew his engine. I'm not really sure if that was post-caution or not, but definitely an unfortunate incident to see.
To me, it kind of looked like it could have been like he was trying to rub on him, like it was intentional, but it might have just been that he tried to jerk it, like we said earlier, just tried to turn the wheel back to the right and got loose, like one of the guys earlier.
yeah, you know, when you start looking at these guys and how they race, how hard they race, it's hard to kind of pay attention to see what's going on. Number 38, definitely, I'm looking at it right now. The 69 come up in the 38. I don't know what the cause of that was.
I think it was like one of those things again, Roosevelt, where the guys they're running there in the bottom groove, they want to come up, maybe get some sign drive with the top, and I think he just lost the rear end of the car. As the pit road here, as Billy Smith does an awesome fake on Todd Guerin, he gets Todd Guerin to go down pit road, and it looks like Billy stayed out.
Another unfortunate incident here with Roger Stanley back in the back having to check up for the incident, and actually got turned around into the wall head first and blew his engine, so his day will be done. So really unfortunate to see that Marines Chevrolet Impala gonna have to take it in.
And you know that Marine was near and dear to my heart too, you know, watching that. You know, saw him check it up, and he just took one in the rear and just blew his engine out. I hate to see it, so unfortunate for him that he lost his car for the day.
As we almost had an accident on pit road. The 36 car was pulling out of his pit. Looked like he spun his tire almost at the inside of the pit road wall. That could have been really bad.
So just to recap the cars involved, looks like we have the 28 and the 69 are definitely going to be done, and then the 38 going to take some damage as well.
Yeah, this is the unfortunate thing. As you watch this replay here, the number 28 car, you know, he sees a car flying, flipping in front of him. He does, the only thing he can do is just try to hold on to it and stay out of the way of it. But unfortunately for him, you know, he got to the wall and it blew his engine up, and I think that was his day for him. So.
Yeah, so we're gonna try to get Roger up here in the booth to see just exactly what happened. He's probably a little bit frustrated with that, but
position down at the bottom of the track there, right before the pit lane, so not a safe place to be, but not certain what's going on with him.
could be technical issues, or maybe he's just trying to stretch out and not lose his position. Hey Roger, this Hunter Kid up in the booth. You got a copy?
Hey, how you doing? Yeah, I got a copy.
Yeah, Roger, we were sitting there watching the replay, and unfortunate to see what happened, but what happened from your view?
Saw smoke and saw a car flipping. Just honestly tried to avoid it. I got on the brakes too hard and turned into the outside wall, and I was hoping it wouldn't end my day, but it did. The Marines, Texaco Havoline Chevrolet was running good. I think we'd had something for them there toward the end of the day, at least top 5 finish. Yeah, I was just trying to bide my time, and you know how things happen in racing. It's just one of those deals. We'll just have to come back and get them next week.
Yeah, we've been watching you the whole race, and was that your strategy, to lay back in the back and let things play out and then come back to the field?
Oh yeah, I just like to lay back, I don't know, at all tracks. like to lay back and stay out of trouble and hopefully get the best finish at the end, unless I got a super great car to run up front. But this track has always been a demon to me. I just try to be as careful as I can here and get, like I said, get the best finish for points possible.
I think Roosevelt has a few questions for you, so we'll see you next week, and here's Roosevelt.
Thank you, sir.
Hey, Roger Roosevelt here. Like Hunter said, it's unfortunate that you got tangled up in there. I told you before, I was rooting for you with that Marine car, going to push it in there. But early on, like you got banged up a little bit. Can you tell us, with the way the track is situated and the way things are settled in, what's some of the difficulties that you had early on?
Well, the car was really good at the beginning. I was just laying back, trying to stay out of trouble. And unlucky for me, I got in trouble with my cousin. Was totally an accident. It bent the front end of the car enough to where no matter what I did in the pits, it still had it was a pushy loose feeling. So I was being really careful. The more I worked on it, they worked on it in the pits, the better it got. And like I said, I think that at the end, I'd have had a top 5 car, if not better. But it's just the way racing goes. You can't win them all.
Well, Roger, good to see, have you up here, and hopefully we give you good luck in the future here. All right, guys, we're going back to green flag racing again here. We still got a bunch of cars on the lead lap as they come around to this first turn. So hopefully we're going to stretch these things out, get some good racing going on, and hopefully see some guys stay out of trouble.
Right there on the initial start, it looks like Billy Smith, who started third, took it 3 wide, and it looks like it didn't work out for him, as the 20 of James South will take the lead as they head down the backstretch.
Indeed, James South has a good run on it there, and he really jumped out to the front. Right behind him, the 05 of Clint Myers, trying to close up on him, but Billy Smith, number 70 car.
Ooh, looks like we might have trouble with the 36.
Yeah, the 36 hard on the outside wall. I don't know. Did he save it, guys?
He did not. Looks like he got into that inside wall, took a very hard lick on that inside wall, and his day will most likely be done.
Yeah, we'll have to maybe see what happened there in a little while. Make sure he's okay.
Oh, yeah.
Center. But also
36
another thing that happened, Brandon Puffenbarger fell out again, so it looks like he's having a bad night with his internet as he hops back in here, as he just got his lap back, so he'll probably fall another lap down and maybe get the lucky dog again.
Again, no caution for that incident with the 36, but he did take a very hard lick onto the inside wall, much like Elliott Sadler a couple of years ago at this track, and blew his engine. His day is definitely going to be done, guys.
Yeah, 36 is done. I mean, he hit that wall head on, full speed, and there's no way that that car survived that. And I tell you what, in the course of simulation racing, that's one of the things where you want to take the guy to the medical center and say, let's check and see if you're okay, pal. But that was a hard hit.
Yeah, that's one of those hits that will go through the steering wheel simulation or not. That was a really hard lick onto the inside wall.
As we see Brandon Puffenbarger in the 88 return back to the track, as we have a new face out front of James South in that 20 car. It's nice to see him back up front as you got Billy Smith trying to run him back down.
Back a little further with the 8 of Todd Guerin. Looks like he got a little loose battle on the 27. Not sure if that was a little aero going on there or what exactly that was.
We got the number 3 car of John Trombley, who got into it, and got a little bit of accident going on here.
Yeah, not too weird seeing a 20 car up there, as Joey Logano won the Pocono race here, so some people are kind of used to seeing the 20 car up front.
We got the number 3 car, John Trombley, and the number 61 car of Alan Piazza. Both of them.
Looks like we might have some trouble on the back straightaway.
That's a big crash.
It looks like it might have been the 61 of Alan Piazza. Really shame to see his day in like that.
Yeah, it looks like the 3 car John Trombley got in that too.
Yeah, look at both of their cars are smoking real bad, and I don't know, their race might be over with.
Yeah, I would say that both of them definitely suffered some catastrophic damage. I'm not sure that either one will be able to continue.
just looks like coming out of the corner, coming out of turn 2 there, turn 1 there. Alan Piazza just got a little bit loose, and that happens here at Pocono. You get that tire spin up off the corner. Looks like that's what happened. Just got loose.
Looks like we got a caution on the track.
It's unfortunate to see him turn around and collect John Trombley. Very unfortunate for those two.
Yeah, it looks like the 61 Alan Piazza was trying to nurse that thing back around the pit road, but that was not going to happen. Not sure if he was the reason for the caution. We'll have to go back and look.
Yeah, that's unfortunate for these guys. You know, as the field continues to thin itself out, you know, you start seeing a lot more cars who, you know, whether they have damage already or they just don't have, you know, a good set of tires, they're getting loose on their own, and that wall collects them in, and it just takes them out. So that's what we're seeing here, the product of Alan Piazza, and you know, unfortunately for him, his race looks like it might be over with for the day.
And that could have been a good break there for the 8 car of Todd Guerin, as he was kind of struggling back there in the back. And here at Pocono, sometimes once you get back there in the pack, it's hard to get back to the front, so he caught a break there with his caution.
Yeah, you know, but James South, the number 20 car, who actually had a pretty good lead, you know, for him, didn't catch a break. You know, he let the field catch up to him again, and, you know, it's going to be a decision point here of whether he's going to pit, get fresh tires, and come back out, or whether he's going to stay out again. You know, there's some fast cars behind him, James South being one of them. I mean, number 8 being one of them, so it's going to be curious to see what's going to happen here.
After Brandon Puffenbarger fell out, it looks like he's now back in, but he's showing 3 laps down, so he got the wave around, so he'll get 1 of his laps back, and now showing 2 laps down as the leaders come on the pit road. Yeah, it looks like a little bit of fake out right there, as the 70 of Billy Smith did another fake on the leaders, and he stayed out as the other ones come down pit road. Looks like it'll be 4 tires of fuel for most of these guys, I would think. And it is 4 tires for the leader of James South, and he beats everybody off pit road, followed by Todd Guerin. He got some good track position there. Came in about 4th and came off 2nd. That's a good job by his crew.
You know, if I was a betting man here, you know, I wouldn't put wager on anything right now, because right now is anything goes on this track. You know, with 53 laps down, you know, we've seen a lot of, you know, lead changes here. A lot of cautions come out, so not really sure what's going to happen here, whether James South is going to be able to maintain that lead and hold on to that lead, you know, for the remaining, you know, 27 laps or so.
Yeah, it's going to get kind of crazy here with these leaders getting tires, some people not getting tires. And you see the 3 car, John Trombley, really smoking as they're coming to the tunnel turn.
Yeah, and if I'm a bet man here, John Trombley, I think that car is done. I definitely think his car is done.
Yeah, it looks like John Trombley is just fighting the inevitable now. That car, I don't believe, will be able to continue with any kind of race speed, so they might have to tell him to go ahead and park that sucker.
You know, you look at the number 3 car there, and you look at him smoking, you look at him continue to stay out. You know, this is kind of indicative of the tenacity of a lot of these race drivers. You know, they don't give up. They get their cars fixed, they get them patched up, they continue to stay on the track, they race to the end. John Trombley is really pushing that car to race to the end, and, you know, despite the fact that he has a plume of smoke coming out the back, you know, you see him going into the pits, he's going to try to get it fixed, he's going to try to come back out there again. You know, that right there is what the typical racer is. He just don't give up until the car engine dies.
Yeah, especially, remember the Class A race here at Pocono, a lot of guys got in a crash, and I was one of those guys, and I knew that most of them would fall out of the race, which has kind of happened here. Some of the guys who crashed have fallen out of the race, and there's at least 30 cars in the race, and once you get in a crash, if you just keep in it, I think I came out finished 20th with like 5 laps down. So I mean, it is possible for some guys to come back and get the best finish that they can.
You know, for these guys that are actually racing for the points, you know, a lot of these guys, all of these guys are racing for the points. There are a lot of things that they remember is that, you know, they'll stay in the race just to get the points. And that's important when it comes down to the long stretches that, you know, you get the points, you don't lose a lot of points. Even if you crash out, you continue on and just, you know, fight it, you know, live to fight another day. And that's what I think you see a lot of times in these races.
Yeah, if I'm not correct, somebody correct me, but I think Glenn Stanley's the points leader, and he's showing right now in the 19th position, 39 laps down. So if he is our points leader, he's going to take a big hit tonight.
Yeah, that's correct. We got Glenn Stanley was a point leader, and Aaron Hutchinson's actually running second in the points. So really going to end up being a really good points day for Aaron if he can hold on and maybe catch a couple more spots. It'll be a really, really good points day for him.
We got Ben Fuller here, who just came out of the medical center here. Ben, how you doing, buddy?
I'm pretty sore. I got a headache. They say I got a concussion.
So can you tell us what happened on that last big crash there?
That's a real bumpy track, and there was a lot of traffic coming through the tunnel turn there, and I scrubbed the wall. Coming out of 2, that's probably the worst place on the track to touch the wall, and it just sent me straight into the infield.
How was your car feeling throughout the course throughout the race today? I mean, what did you feel tight, loose? Did it feel like your car settled in a lot, or?
It was real free. I'd say it was a real comfortable ride. It wasn't as quick as those guys up front. It was a real handful trying to stay up.
Hey Ben, this is Hunter Kent in the booth. You got a copy?
10-4.
Okay, yeah. We saw you back there. What was your strategy for this race?
Mainly just ride it out, let the car come to me a little bit, but just unfortunate what happened there.
Yeah, I see some of these guys racing side by side. Were you getting the respect that you wanted out there on the track?
Oh yeah. Everybody seemed to be clean. You faster, people would let you by. You know, give and take.
All right, buddy. Well, we're glad to see that you're okay. Rest up for next week, and hopefully we'll see you there.
All right. Y'all have a good one.
You too.
All right, race fans. So like we get ready to come to green here as we 2x2. We're coming to the final turn before the pace car goes into the pit stops here. We're at lap 55. Get ready to go to lap 56 here. So we still got a few laps to go, but it's going to be interesting here these last few laps, guys, to see who's going to settle in, who's going to push it.
And real quick, only showing 8 cars on the lead lap. Brandon Puffenbarger, because of his problems coming in and out of the races, scored 2 laps down. Just a real quick recap of the top 4. We got Billy Smith on the inside, James South on the outside, Todd Guerin on the inside of row 2, and the 05 of Clint Myers starting on the outside of row 2.
I can't wait to see if the 70 can hold off the guys that came in and got new tires as we go that green flag here at Pocono.
And we see the field kind of stay bunched up those first 4 guys that we just called out here. You know, as they get ready to head down to that first turn. I think that first turn is what really going to make the difference between who has the speed to come off and who has, you know, tires that are not going to just hold.
Looks like the 20 car James South was able to hold off Billy Smith there in turn 1.
A really aggressive drive right there by the 20, taking it on the high side and getting around the 70. And it looks like the 8 might be taking a look underneath the 70 as well.
Yeah, right there's a very dangerous place to pass there. I wouldn't be surprised to see somebody get into each other right there in that corner coming in the final few laps.
Well, I think as we get down to these last 20 plus laps or so, we're going to start seeing a lot more hard, aggressive driving from these guys that managed to stay out of trouble throughout the course of the race. They're going to start pushing their cars a little bit harder to try to get up front and stay up front.
Yeah, it looks like Todd Guerin is a man on a mission right now. I mean, he is trying to charge back and get that lead away from James South, sorry.
And James South, you look at him in that turn right there, he's pulling away from that from those cars behind him. But on the stretch here, it looks like he's starting to kind of close up to him a little bit.
car spinning coming off one. Looks like it was a 27, a Sean Cochran.
Yeah, it was like Shanka Corner. He might have just lost it coming off one.
We also had a car in the wall coming off turn one. I couldn't see who it was, but I know
Yeah,
there
Hunter,
were 5
I
guys
believe
at
that
the
was the
wall.
05, yeah, of Clint Myers got into the wall. I'm not sure if he lost a position because of it, but he definitely scraped that wall.
Nice save there by the 27 cars. He kept it off everything. Kind of a heartbreaker though to see him kind of spin out after running in the top 5. I know he's got to be kind of frustrated with himself.
As we go back to the lead here, James South, has a really comfortable pace going on. But right behind him, number 8 car, Todd Guerin, is pulling up on him. But Todd Guerin and James South have really just managed to pull away from the rest of the field. So if they can stay out of trouble, they can maintain, they might have a good chance. But we see Todd right there. I think Todd has the faster car, guys. He's closing up on James really, really quick.
Yeah, definitely, Roosevelt. We had talked earlier about Todd Guerin having a really good long-run car, so you expect the longer this goes, the more in favor of Todd Guerin it is.
Yeah, to me it looks like Todd Guerin is getting the more power up off the corners, which is telling me he has a better car coming up off. So it's going to be interesting to see when and where he gets by the 20 car.
Now, James, when you guys are racing like this, and you got a car behind you that's pushing, do you find yourself burning your tires up quicker because of that?
Yeah, it's kind of hard not to, Roosevelt, when you see that car right in your mirror, right on you. You're trying to give it everything you can get. I mean, that's just the way it is. Again, these two guys are really battling, Roosevelt.
Oh yeah, indeed, James. I'm sorry about the interruption, but I'm saying we watched these guys battle here. Todd Guerin and James South are battling out. This right here is going to turn out to be a big battle, but I don't think James can keep it up. I think Todd has a faster car here. I think he has, the advantage because he's pushing James, and James is burning his tires up. We can see here coming on this back stretch that, James has the inside, or Todd has the inside stretch on him, and James just cut down on him, trying to hold him off as much as he can. This is really a good battle here, guys.
Yeah, what has allowed the 70 to get back in the mix, these two guys going at it. So you saw him at the restart kind of go backwards, now getting back in it.
Yeah, talking about the draft there earlier, and that was a good example around the front stretch a few seconds ago. The 8 car used that draft advantage to try to duck out and pass the 20, but he just doesn't have the run down into the corner.
One of the disadvantages of this battle between James South and Todd Guerin, like you said, James, is that it'll let the number 70, Billy Smith, get back into the mix again. So, Billy has a fast car. He's a fast driver. I think, once we see these guys up front continue to battle out, Billy might take advantage of that and come up and sneak up and surprise everybody.
Yeah, definitely. These 3 cars have kind of been the class of the field all day. Todd Guerin, James South, and Billy Smith. So we'll have to see what happens here at the end. Looking about 20 to go.
You have to remember that the 70 car did not pit that last time by, so James South and Todd Guerin do have fresher tires from that 70.
We also got to look at the number 84, Kevin Linden, who's back to the number 4 spot. He's just kind of riding around, just watching the battle up front go along. He might just be sitting and waiting, see what's going to happen, see if somebody's going to make a mistake and take advantage of it.
Yeah, these two are really going at it up front. Todd Guerin is giving everything he's got to try to take the lead away from the 20. They'll dive down the corner, both of them will get loose. One of them will get loose, and they're trying to capitalize on each other. So they're going to try to draft, Todd Guerin's going to try to draft by him.
Yeah, and like you said, Hunter, even though Billy Smith is on old tires, the way these guys are racing up there is kind of neutralizing it and bringing the tires back to Billy. Even though he has old ones, these guys are really using it up, battling really hard.
Yeah, and I think that it's going to Billy's advantage because these two guys are racing each other and wearing out their tires, and Billy's just riding back there saving his stuff, just waiting for one of them to screw up.
You watch that number 8 Revolution car of Todd Guerin there get to the corners. You see that back end kind of get to the right a little bit. He's getting loose, but he's hanging right there with that Taco Bell car of James South. Sorry about that. So they're running hard, so it's really a good race up here for these top 3 positions. I'm expecting to see something good to the end.
And looks like we got a caution on the track. Have to re-rack that and see. Looks like Sean Corcoran's around again. Unfortunate to see him had that earlier incident on the run, and then it finally just gave away on him, is what it looks like, in the 27.
Yeah, Roosevelt, going back to what you said about all the cars moving around everywhere, there's so many bumps on this track, and if you hit one of those bumps wrong, I mean, it's going to knock your car sideways, which could have been the case right there for the 27 car.
I fully expect to see the number 8 car of Todd Guerin, the number 20 car of James South, go into pits and take tires to battle it out. We got about 17 laps of green flag racing left to go. After this caution, we're probably going to break that down to about 14 laps. These 2 guys up front here, I think they're going to give us a show for the money. I expect those guys to go into pits and take tires. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I'd agree, and as you said, I wouldn't count out Billy Smith now being able to come in and get some fresh good gears. Him back in the mix. We might have a 3-way battle here to finish it off with about 10 to go. That's going to be a pretty awesome finish.
Looks like Brandon Puckmeyer will get the wave around again. He'll be showing 1 lap down now after he was 2 laps down to get us his lap back.
We got number 20, James South, here in the booth with us right now. James, you got a big read, buddy?
Go, here's on, go ahead.
James, you and Todd there got a little bit of battle going on up there front. So how you feeling in the car right now?
Car can handle anything right now. I mean, I was pushing to the limits there, and it still stuck around. I thought Todd had a good run on me a couple of times, but unfortunately, somehow I pulled away from him. But it should be a good last couple 10 laps to go, I believe, and a good bounce again.
Yeah, Todd, I see both of you guys hitting to the pits right now, so it's definitely going to be a race to the off the pit lane here. What do you expect to happen between you and him? You guys been racing clean all day here. Do you guys expect to have a good battle to the end?
It's going to come down to who has a better car that can stick and go through the corners, I believe.
Hey, well, listen, James, hey, good luck to you. I see you guys coming off the pits here. So, hey, good luck. You guys got a good race going on here, buddy. We definitely keep our eyes on you.
Try to keep it more entertaining for you guys up there in the booth. Appreciate it.
James South has come off the pit lanes ahead of Todd Guerin here. So we're going to see these guys continue to battle it out, guys. This is really going to come down to the wire here. Like I said, we're going to have about 13 laps to go when we go back green again, and this is going to be the deciding factor right here.
Yeah, and just to recap, we had mentioned that Brandon Puffenbarger had gotten the lucky dog, the wave around for the lucky dog, but he's also looks like he's in position to get the wave around to get back on the lead lap when we have 2 to go here. So a really good break for him, that caution coming at that time.
Indeed, and that's again, we talk about tenacity early and just sticking with it. Brandon Puffenbarger having a little bit of technical difficulty early on, but he sticks with it. Right now he's in 9th position, which is going to get him some points, but has a possibility of coming out and getting his lead lap back and maybe even fighting to move up a little bit more.
Yeah, I think with getting in 20 to go here, things are going to get a little hairy. I mean, I'm thinking guys are going to go for broke now, and you get in the way and something might happen. I see the 70 car, Billy Smith, dive down on the pit road for what could be his final stop of the day.
And like we said, these top 3 are going to go in right where they or come out right where they went in. So it's going to be James South in the 20, Todd Guerin in that Ron Hall Revolution 8 car, and then Billy Smith going to be shown 4th.
Yeah, Billy dove down on the pit road, maybe to get some, maybe get the fresh tires.
Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, Billy Smith going to come in and get tires. That's an interesting play right there, getting down to the nitty-gritty with like 15 to go.
Yeah, he's going to be back in traffic. I don't know if he can work his way back up, but Billy's a good driver, so if he does, it's going to put on one good show.
Indeed he will, you know. So got to be a method to the madness from coming in. So I'm curious to see what's going to happen with him. You know, watch him, what's going to happen.
Yeah, I'm going to keep my eyes on that 70 car as he works his way back to the field. I'm going to bet that he'll be there with about 5 to go. And if another caution comes out, I'm thinking he could be the one to go up there and battle for the win.
Another good strategy that could be taking place here with the number 70 car is that maybe he come in and put some extra tape on that grill to get a little more speed, knowing that he's going to be down in less than 20 laps, 10, 15 laps. He's willing to sacrifice his engine a little bit more, put some tape on that car, get some more speed out of it. So that could be a strategy too. So I'm gonna be curious to watch Billy, see how fast he can move up through the field.
Yeah, that's a real good possibility there, Roosevelt. What you just said.
And that's definitely something they would try and practice just to see how long he could go. You don't want to, start fiddling with stuff that you don't know about. So, yeah, that definitely could come into play. And if it does, that was an excellent call by his.
As we see, Aaron Hutchinson has worked his way back up into the top 5. Nope, he's actually in 6th. He's been shown at 6th right now. He was one of those guys who laid back in the start. And I guarantee you he'll be up there fighting for the win just like these other guys.
Well, we're watching Brandon Puffenbarger, coming to the pits right now. Probably taking some tires, or he's a lap down, so he's coming in right now.
Did he take the wave?
Yeah, I thought we were going to have, it looked like Brandon Puffenbarger was in front of the leaders. I thought he was going to be in position to take the wave around, but...
Looks like that. I don't know if that's going to happen or not, but...
We are lined up 2 by 2. Looks like they are getting ready to go back green here.
Looks like Brandon has a black flag. Don't know what that's about. Maybe speeding in the pits or passing under yellow, but he definitely has, NASCAR has shown him the black flag.
As we get ready to get to the restart here, guys, we're getting to this last few laps here. We're going to come in and hit that gopher cam for you guys so you can see just the speed of these cars that they have coming into the turns here. So stand by and listen to the race, guys. Here we go as we come down that final stretch here. Pace cars going to be dropping in. We're going green right here, guys. Green flag, green flag. Here we go. These guys are going to crank it up here. Let's listen to them as they come around these first few laps here, guys. And as we come back around to the start finish, we see James South. He's holding on to Todd Garrett as best as he can in the 1 and 2 spot. They're pulling away from the field, and like we expected, these two guys are going to battle until the end.
Yeah, the 05 car was running 3rd. I think that's Clint Myers. He got super loose coming off turn 3, and he fell back all the way, probably somewhere outside the top 10. But I thought Todd Garrett was going to use the bumper there to move James South out of the way.
Well, I'll tell you what, these guys have been racing clean all day, so I expect to see them to continue to race clean. But they are definitely pulling away from the field, you know, and these guys are going to battle all the way to the end. Right now, with about 12 laps to go, I expect to see it unfinished, complete battle coming all the way through.
And just a recap behind them, we're showing Kevin Linden got a little bit of damage on the backside. I'm not sure if that was from an earlier incident, but he's running third. And Billy Smith, who we talked about coming in and taking that pit stop and getting some fresh Goodyears, maybe putting on some tape, running fourth.
Yeah, it looks like for the meanwhile, James South and Todd Guerin up front, and the 20 car is holding off a hard charging not James South, my bad, Todd Guerin in the 8th.
We see Aaron Hutchinson in the number 40 car who's working his way up to 5th position here. You know, he got some ground to make up, but he's charging also coming up in.
So
definitely
really
trying to catch up to Billy Smith.
Todd Guerin on that one.
Yeah, and Billy Smith, one of those other guys who went in and took 4 fresh tires, he's moved his way up to 4th. As these two guys up front are really battling for position.
Actually, Billy Smith going to take a look underneath the 84 Kevin Linden, going to take over 3rd now. So we're right back where we started that last run with South, Guerin, and Smith up in the top 3.
And like we said before, Smith is charging, so he's coming hard here. We got about 10 to go. It's going to be really, really a strong race to the finish here for the top 2. And Billy Smith, you know, I'm not going to count him out exactly yet. If these two guys up front battle, Billy Smith might be able to take advantage of and close that gap.
And speaking of battling, we got side by side right here with the 20 and 8.
And going out of turn 1, there's the 8 car got super loose. They're coming so close to each other.
This is about as good as racing as you guys can get here at the front of the pack here at Pocono. This is unbelievable.
And you know these guys don't want to wreck each other. I mean, they want to race each other as clean as they can, but they want to have fun and they want to go for the win.
There's some strong racing here. Now, I'll tell you, looking at the corners here, Todd Guerin looks like he has the stronger car in the turn. He has momentum coming out of the back stretch here, but number 20 just has a lot of speed. So I'm expecting to see a pass here coming up real soon as Todd's staying down low. He's jumping into the turn here, you know, but number 20 is really, really fighting him off, and I'm really, really happy to see these guys really battling the way they battle.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, I mean, it looks like James South is much better in that first turn, getting in, coming off, and then Guerin down in the tunnel turn in the 3rd turn is where he makes up his time.
Yeah, being on the outside lane, James South running the outside, it's not a bad place to be because you avoid all those bumps, and it doesn't upset your car as much as you can see Todd Guerin is really struggling to get behind him on the inside.
We'll see if these guys keep battling and Billy Smith can cut in their lead a little bit more. Still sitting in 3rd, about a second back.
Yeah, Billy Smith is closing that gap a little bit. Like we said before, you know, and like you said, James, he's about a second back and he's slowly trying to close up on it. You know, James South, Todd Guerin, they continue to battle like they're battling here. Billy might be able to take advantage of it and come up and take it here with 8 laps to go.
Talked about earlier about the draft. It looked like the 20 actually wanted to break a little draft right there on the front stretch, so he went down and made sure that the 8 wasn't directly behind him. Pretty good job right there, knowing your surroundings.
Yeah, outstanding, good strategy here and trying to maintain that lead. This is all about just holding on for the lead. You know, the pressure that number 20 is under right now is unbelievable. I think he has more pressure than Todd does because, you know, he's in front. Todd is just working his way trying to get past this guy, but, you know, I think James has some more pressure.
It's just so fun sitting there watching these two cars. I mean, they're going at it. They're going as hard as they can right now. They're sliding their cars. They don't care about the tires. I mean, they are both, when you see them both going down the corner, I mean, they are just sliding both the front and rear end of the cars. It's just fun and exciting to sit here and watch them go for it.
And they've actually put some time on Billy Smith right there on that lap. So that just tells you all you need to know about how hard these guys are racing and how fast they're going, that they're actually pulling that 3rd place car even though that they're racing for keeps.
Outstanding racing action here on RDL TV, guys. You know, this is what it's all about. You watch these guys, they settle in, they relax, they stay patient throughout their entire race. We get down to the last 10 plus laps and we actually see some of the best racing we've seen all day here. This is what it's about. James South, Todd Guerin, They're working it hard. They're trying to battle. They're trying to win this thing. And I'm telling you what, it's no telling how this is going to finish out, but you definitely have a great race right now.
Looks like we might have had a car coming into the pits to get some service. Might have been a 3 car of John Tremblay. Really not that important right now as we're watching another battle up here. They're going, looks like they're trying to go side by side.
Yeah, the 8 cars, he's trying every which way he can. He doesn't want to move them out of the way. He doesn't want to wreck both of them, but he's really diving down the corners, but it just looks like James South has a better run up off the corner, and that's allowing him to stay out front of the game, Todd Garrett.
Indeed, you know, and no matter how much he tries, you know, Todd just holds him off, and we see James just trying to fight. So James is holding on as much as he can, but Todd Garrett just cannot get past him.
Yeah,
we'll see. I wouldn't be. Yeah, go ahead, Hunter.
I was gonna say I wouldn't be surprised to see these two guys wear out their tires and see Billy Smith come flying right back to the front and make it a 3-car battle.
As we get into it, you know, we get down to these last 5 laps here. You know, Billy Smith is closing the gap, so he's definitely working his way up and closing it. You know, it's going to be interesting to see if he can take advantage of these guys up front. I don't know if they're going to burn their tires out completely. I mean, they're bumper to bumper coming into the turn right now. Todd Garrett is all over the bumper of the 20 car. This is really tight here for them.
It looks like we have smoke coming out of the 8 car.
Yes, and he blew his engine. It looks like his engine is gone, guys. I think he is done.
It looks like he might have come in and got some tape that last pit stop. And he's actually going to have to spin out and go into the pits. That's, really a shame to see that.
And that is unfortunate for Todd Garrett. As like you said, he probably put too much tape on in that last pit stop and just got it overheating, and it's kind of unfortunate for him.
He was running such a great race. He was running so hard. He just didn't have enough, you know, for that number 20 car to get up there. Billy Smith right now in number 70 car is in the 2nd position. I don't think he has enough to catch up with James South. James South has a car to beat, guys. I mean, he's been running up front for a majority of this race. He's been running steady, running constant. You know, I don't know if Billy Smith have anything to catch him here with 4 laps to go.
Yeah, coming out of 4 to go, Billy's about a 2.5 seconds back. I don't know if he can close that distance because, like you said, Roosevelt, and James South has been strong all night long.
Really a heartbreaker for Todd Garrett because you could feel him trying to get back to the bumper and maybe get one more big-time run at South maybe in the next couple of laps to see if he could get it done, and just looks like he put too much tape on it, and that's really unfortunate, guys.
Yeah, you know, that's that give and take that you have to balance out in the last few laps on trying to decide if you're going to put more tape on and sacrifice your engine and try to get a win, or if you're going to keep the tape off and just try to tough it out. You know, unfortunately, the gamble didn't work for him and he lost his engine.
It looks like Von Garrett will still finish in the top 10 though after a really strong night. It's just bad to see that happen. I know he's probably frustrated at himself.
And on the other side, we see James South open up a 2-second lead over Billy Smith, and even if Todd didn't blow his motor, it looked like South had the car to beat because Todd had tried a couple of times to go underneath, try to make something happen, and South did a really good job of holding him off. So.
Yeah, I agree with you there, James.
Yeah, indeed. You know, James South has a car that's really set up for this track really great. Has a really good setup. Looks like he has everything dialed in perfect, and he's focused on what he needs to do. You know, so it looks like our top 4 finishers are going to be James South in number 1 position. Billy Smith might finish in 2. Kevin Linden in number 3. And our very own number 40, Aaron Hutchins, is going to come in at number 4 there. So number 33, Brooks Morris, is going to come in at 5. And Chad Sanderson coming in 6th, and then Brandon Puff Daddy Puffenbarger is going to round it up at 8th position, 7th position. So, you know, these are the last few cars on the track, and these guys have really been pushing it all day, you know, toughing it out. You know, we've seen some great racing. We still got a lap to go, so don't want to, you know, call it too early. But all things, you know, going good, we should see Billy Smith here and James South is kind of taking it 1 and 2 respectively.
Yeah, talking about Billy Smith, he went from 2 seconds back. He's now down to 1.3. He is definitely closing the distance, but I don't think he's going to have enough laps and enough time to get to the back bumper of James South.
Yeah, odds are good that that's probably South just letting off just a little bit to make sure he gets around. Don't want to pull a J.R. Hildebrand and hit a wall or something coming out of 4 or 3 or wherever you're on the track. So I would bet that that's South just taking it a little easy, just making sure he can get it back around.
Indeed, indeed. And we're riding right now with Billy Smith. We see him, trying to close that gap as hard as he can here and, push himself pretty hard to stay off the wall and finish the race. He has to make that decision on whether or not he has enough steam to close it up on James South or whether he can or not. He's charging.
He's definitely charging, Roosevelt. He's under a second now as we're on the white flag and have 2 more turns after they get out of this one.
Yeah, I'm kind of wondering if James South is trying to nurse his car around. He might have put a little bit too much tape on there. Should be trying to nurse it around, but Billy Smith is definitely going to make a run at it as we come to these last 2 corners.
Could be interesting here as we come into the last couple corners here between Billy Smith and James South.
Billy Smith definitely reeling him in, guys. We're going to see what happens here off a 3 down the front stretch.
Billy Smith's probably going to dive down into 3 as here comes your leader, James South, for the last time to the corner at Pocono International Speedway. Looks like he'll come up the corner and take the W.
Yeah,
like he's going to have enough, guys.
Unfortunately, Billy just didn't have enough laps left to come in and get that run. What a great run. What a great run. James South, I tell you, he's been facing some really, really tough challenges all day. He really fought off some hard races here to take the win. So big congratulations to him for staying out in front, taking the win. Outstanding racing, nice clean racing. Congratulations to James South.
Yeah, guys, him and Todd Guerin and Billy Smith really put on a great show tonight, and it looks like James South was the one who could hold off everybody, and he had a fast car, and did some pit strategy and got track position, and he is now your winner.
Yeah, so as we said, a really great show put on by these guys, South and Todd Guerin. Got to tip your hat to Todd Guerin. He had a great run going until he blew his engine. He really put on a show out there those last 2 runs with him and South.
Indeed he did, James. It was unfortunate that he had that incident happen with his car, his engine blew. It was going to be a really great race down to the end, but you got to tip your hats to these top 10 races here. So rounding out our top 10, we have James South, who takes the win in the number 20 car. The number 70 car, Billy Smith, comes in at 2nd. We have the number 84 of Kevin Linden at 3rd. The number 40 car of Aaron Hutchinson at number 4. Number 33 of Brooke Morris coming at 5. And number 27 of Sean Corcoran comes in at 6.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, I think that's James South's first win of the season here in the Cup cars.
And actually, one more than that, Hunter. This was actually James South's debut here at Red Dog Racing. So what a start to his career here in this great series and great league.
Yeah.
That's outstanding. We can see if we can keep James up here.
That is, I didn't know this was his debut. He did a pretty good job for his debut. I mean, he pretty much dominated. I wouldn't say he dominated the whole race, but he dominated definitely the last quarter of the race.
He was definitely holding on tight and running hard there. So James South, you got us, good buddy?
I got y'all, guys. What's up?
Hey, you wipe that sweat off your brow and you get your heart back down in the chest where it belongs, my friend. Tell me about those last few laps where you were really fighting to hold off Todd and then turn around and fighting to hold off Billy there.
Oh, I knew I made a lot of mistakes with Todd, trying to hold him off, just going in too deep, and it was getting too tight, and snaps loose on the exit. But for some reason, I didn't have enough speed on the exit. But for another, it was hitting every other lap. One lap it would do good, another lap would do bad, and he would catch up, and I'll pull away. But I thought Billy might have me because all the tires I burnt off trying to race against Todd there those last 10 laps.
We were sitting up here debating whether or not you or Todd were burning tires, worse. And it looks like you said, Todd had you in the corners, but on the streets, you had him. Unfortunate incident for Todd to blow his engine up. It looked like maybe he had some extra tape on, but for you, kind of fortunate. Did that calm your nerves a little bit when you saw him drop back with the engine blow?
I really didn't know what happened. All I saw, I thought he was on the inside of me, and I looked to my left, and he wasn't there, and all I saw him in this, I got a call from the crew chief saying he, blew the engine up. So it's unfortunate to see that. We were definitely we're going to put on a good show to the finish there.
Yeah, south of Sprouse. We saw you slowing down a little bit there at the end. Were you nursing it back? Did you have some extra tape on and was trying to make sure it didn't blow up, or what was happening there?
Oh no, I was definitely taking it safe. I didn't want to make one small, bad judgment there on that corner, any of these corners here, and let Billy close me in quicker than he was before.
Well, James, listen, we want to tell you a big congratulations on the win. I understand this is your first Red Dog race here. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Hey, well, that's the way to win it, buddy. That was a great race. Really, really entertaining race. We were following you and Todd, I think the last 15, 20 laps, we were following you guys around. That right there makes it great to sit here in the booth and watch some racing. So congratulations. We definitely hope to see you out there again pretty soon.
Thanks. I got a couple shout-outs too, if you don't mind. Break It Down Designs is me and Sprouse's thing we like to do on the side painting cars and website designs and whatnot. But you can check us out at www.breakitdowndesigns.com, or you can follow us at Twitter at BreakItDownDES.
Outstanding, James. Outstanding. Hey, glad to have you here in Red Dog Racing. Look forward to seeing you on the track again.
I'll see you guys next week.
And for all the race fans out there, we want to thank you guys again for joining RDL TV, Red Dog Racing Live, guys. In the booth with me tonight was Mr. Hunter Kent and James Sprouse. I want to thank you guys for joining us.
Thanks a lot, Roosevelt. It was a hell of a time, man.
Yeah, Roosevelt and James had fun. Got to watch some great racing, and we'll be back here maybe next week, or maybe us three will be in the race.
Outstanding. I think I'll be pushing the race here next Thursday coming up, and hope to see you guys on the track too. From RDL TV and from Red Dog Racing, thank everybody for joining us. Good night, everybody.